Konnichiwa guys, PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here at Tokyo Expressway in the Mazda Roadster touring car for the Daily Race A race here taking place at Tokyo Expressway. And before we jump into the video, so I kind of messed up the recording on the second race. So the second race I had to take it from the replay place on GT Sports. So you're going to see the black outlines on the top and the bottom, so just give you guys a heads up just in case if you guys see that it's a little bit different from the first race. So I'm gonna jump into the race here. We actually did not get a good qualifying lap. As you can see, we are starting all the way in the bottom as someone actually leaves, and we're gonna be starting basically in last places. We're gonna be in 9th place with a 2-minute 4-second lap as we jump up for the warm-up now. This is, I think, my second race that I did here. I did one race here, just kind of got the idea of what, you know, this track is about with these cars. Usually it's very heavily dependent on the slipstream. As you see, there's a very long straightaway as you see us on the warm-up lap here. This is going to be the place where you're going to make up a lot of time, especially when you're behind a car in the slipstream. Now, before we jump into the video, if you guys haven't yet, we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the video. And as you can see, we are starting here in 9th place as we jump up into the race now. We are surrounded by B-class driver rating cars. Not sure why they put me in the B class. Maybe it's just because of my time on the qualifying lap here. But you can see we are starting in 9th place all the way in the back. As we get the countdown now, we're getting our 3, 2, 1. Put the traction control to 1 as we try to get a good launch here. Heading down the start-finish line now. Past the start-finish line, and we are a go for the race as we are able to make an overtake on one car already. We are promoted into 8th place as we're right behind the red Mazda ahead of us. Try to make a move onto the inside as we're going to head into turn number 1. Brake right before the 50-meter board. Get the move on the red car onto the left of us, and we're able to make the overtake there as we come into the left-hander now. Come into the left-hander, we're still right behind the black Mazda. As you can see, there's a car that makes a move on the inside now. It's the red Mazda as he's now on our outside. Hits the wall a little bit, I believe. I heard some of the wall grinding, but we're on the outside of him now as we come into this hairpin now. Coming to the hairpin, we're going side by side with the Mazda. It's just going to be very tricky now as we got to make it through here without making any contact with anybody and hoping no one rams us out as we're going to be braking very hard right after the 100-meter board. Heading into the hairpin now. You see there's a car that goes out a little bit wide, and there's a car ahead of us that actually has a 1-second penalty. And we're going to go right down the straightaway as we fast forward here, try to gain time on the cars ahead of us as we're heading down this long straightaway, heading into the right-hander that's going to lead us into the chicane of death. Coming to this long right-hander here, we're still right behind 6th place as we are right behind this gaggle of cars as we head into the chicane of death. We're going side by side, and let's see if they're going to be able to make it through. Brake very early, clip the first apex there. You see a car goes out wide, 2 cars actually go out wide, and as we're going 3 wide as we come down this short straightaway heading into the right-hander here, we make contact with the wall and the black Mazda right underneath us. And he's able to make the overtake on us as we get back into his slipstream as we come down the front straightaway, leading us into the lap number 2. As we're heading right behind him, we're on the slipstream now. We're going to just try to make a look onto the outside, but it's a little too optimistic, so we're just going to give him a little bump draft as we're going to try to catch up to the guys ahead of us. As you can see, we have a huge gap between 3rd and 2nd. As we make a little bit of contact with the 2nd place car, get him a little out of shape. We give him back the position for that because that was our fault. I didn't mean to bump him out of the way like that, but we're heading into this left-hander here as we fast forward here, heading into the hairpin now. Coming to the hairpin, we're going to try to brake as late as we can. We have a car looking onto the inside of us. Make a very late entrance. As you can see, the cars underneath us actually make contact and they spin out, so we're able to get promoted into 4th place as we come down the long straightaway, leading us into the right-hander now as we're going to be coming down the straightaway, going into the penalty zone. Let's see who has to serve the penalty. I believe it was 2nd place that has to serve his penalty. As you can see, we're gaining time on them really fast. We make the move on the outside, and we're able to promote ourselves into 3rd place as we come down the long straightaway that's going to lead us into the right corner. So coming down the straightaway now, we're gaining time on 1st and 2nd. I'm not sure what happened with them. I don't know if they ran into the wall or something, but we gained a ton of time on them as we're coming to the right-hander here. We're right behind 2nd place as he actually makes contact with the wall coming out of the right turn. And we're going to try to brake as late as we can, heading to the chicane of death. Hit the apex right there, hit the 2nd apex. We gain a ton of time on him as we actually make contact with his back bumper as we head into the right-hand corner right here. Now leading us into the final lap, you see the car, 1st place actually has a penalty here, so that's going to help us as we come down the front straightaway now. in the slipstream. We actually pull away from the cars behind us as we jump up later into the lap now. Coming down this part of the freeway as we're going into the hairpin again, we're making a move onto the inside of second place. We're going side by side now as we head into the hairpin. You see first place has his penalty, so we're going to try to get as close as we can as we try to break as late as we can right after the 100-meter board. First place actually goes a little bit wide, so we're going to try to make a move onto the inside here, but we're going to go side by side so we're going to get a better momentum coming out of the hairpin. We're going side by side now as we head into the back straightaway. That's going to lead us to the penalty zone, but remember, the car right next to me has to serve his penalty, so let's see how much this is going to affect him. Going past the penalty zone, he has to serve his penalty, and we're able to make up first place there as we head down this long straightaway. But you can see right behind us, the white car is actually catching up to us as he's in the slipstream of us. And hopefully we're able to block him as we are trying to defend here, going into this kind of snaky looking part of the straightaway here, heading into the right corner now. Gonna try to break as late as we can as we head into the right corner now. We're defending the inside line as we come into the right corner. Break right before the 50-meter board. And second place is on the outside as we make a little bit of contact with the wall. Now we're going to go 3 wide as we head into the chicane of death. Going 3 wide, someone's going to have to give here. As not all 3 of us are going to make it there. We try to back out of there. First place breaks very, very late. We make a little bit of contact with second. First place hits the wall. And now we're going side by side with second place as we have to shift down because we didn't shift down enough as we come out of the chicane of death. Coming to the right-hand corner now. Second place is on our slipstream now, so he's going to try to make a move onto the outside. We're going to defend the inside here as we come down to the start-finish line. It's going to be a photo finish as we come down. Who's going to win it? And we get the win there as we come down in first place, passing the start-finish line. Very, very close. As you can see, it was only 0.05 of a second difference between us and second place. As now we're going to jump up into the second race. And again, the second race I didn't record, so I had to go off the replay station on GT Sports, so it's gonna look a little bit different, but we're just gonna have to deal with it as we come into the race. So coming into the second race now, we're starting in 6th place for this race, and so we're right behind the American here, heading into the front straightaway, leading us into turn number 1. Getting into the slipstream of them, we're gonna try to stay right behind us. We try to break as early as we can to not make contact, but the black car actually makes contact with the red car, and the yellow Brazilian actually goes back down, makes contact with the black car. And we're able to get through that cleanly as we were able to avoid that mistake that the black car made. As we jump up into the replay here, you see the black car makes contact with the red car, and the Brazilian's able to actually give him instant karma. He spins out and gets demoted all the way to last place as we jump further into the lap now, coming off of this left-hander heading down the freeway that leads us into the hairpin. So coming to the hairpin now, the Brazilian doesn't brake. He actually makes contact with the red car. The red car goes into the other red car, and let's see what happened here on the replay. He just does not break until the very, very last minute, rams both of those cars out, and we're able to make 2 positions. As you see, another car actually spun out on the right hand side there. So we go from 5th place to 3rd place in the span of 1 hairpin because of the Brazilian. And now we're going down into the back straightaway, so we're trying to get into the slipstream of the red car right ahead of us. Break as late as we can as we head into this right hander here, and we're going to try to see if we could try to get a good run coming out of here as we're heading to the chicane of death, but we think twice about that, and we just go back into the slipstream of the red cars. We try to break as late as we can. Clip the first and second apex really, really good. And all 3 of us make it there cleanly. Not sure what happened right behind us, but all I know is that us, second and first, were able to make it through it cleanly as we jump up into lap number 2. So coming to lap number 2, we're heading into the hairpin again. Getting onto the slipstream of the red car. Break right after the 100-meter board. Break very, very late. Almost make contact with the red car. He goes a little bit wide. And we're going to make a move onto the inside. He makes contact with the outside wall. And we're able to make up second place now as we come down the back straightaway and jumping up into lap number 3. So coming to the final lap now, we're right behind the gray Mazda ahead of us. We're in the slipstream of him, so we're going to go onto the outside, get a wide entrance into turn number 1. Try to get a good exit here as we're going to stay right behind him heading into turn number 2 and 3. Heading into the left-hander and to the right-hander. We're still right behind the gray Mazda as we come into the straightaway that's going to lead us into the hairpin now. Trying to get a good exit here and stay right behind him on the slipstream as we head into the hairpin. Staying right behind him. Thinking about making a look here, but he's covering the inside, so we got to go to the outside. Break right after the 100-meter board. Make a cut back here, so he actually outbrakes himself. We look into the inside. We make a little bit of contact with him as we're going side by side now. Heading down the straightaway here. We get back into the slipstream of him as we head down to the straightaway, but we lose a little bit of momentum because of the contact there. And you can see the red car is now onto the outside of us as he got into our slipstream, and he's going to make an overtake on us as we head into the straightaway. We switch right behind him to try to maximize the slipstream as we make contact with him, giving him a little bit of a bump to try to catch him up to the gray car as we head down the straightaway. That's going to lead us into the right-hand corner. Staying right behind both of them as we come down this snaky straightaway into the tunnel now. Coming out of the tunnel, we're still right behind them as let's see what's going to happen here as the red car is moving left and right, goes into the outside now as we come into the right-hand corner. Now side by side in here, we brake early so we don't make contact with them in case if they crash each other out. We make contact again with the inside wall just like we did the last race, and we're losing time on them as we come into the chicane of death. Are they gonna be able, or are we gonna be able to make it through it cleanly as they don't mess up there? We actually all get through it cleanly. Heading to the final right-hand corner on the final lap, are we gonna be able to make up any time on them as the red car is actually going to try to make a look onto the inside? The gray car is pushing the red car down, and they actually make contact with the wall. And is that going to let us get up to them as we're going to the start-finish line? And we've just run out of time. Finish in third place, get a podium finish. Very, very exciting race. As you can see, we are still right behind the green Mazda, but very, very exciting race. As both of the first and second race was really exciting. This track is just really, really fun with these cars. But anyways, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.